A game of chess is like a sword fight. You must think first, right? Before you move.
Hey everybody, it's Galen for the Portland Chess Club, and I am bringing you GM Alexander Morozevich as white. Here he's playing under the Smurf handle of GM Igor Giryov. And it's rumored to be Alexander Morozevich. I can't guarantee it, but I'm pretty sure he's playing IM step-by-step right now. And I'm going to read you straight from the Wikipedia article. Alexander Morozevich is a Russian chess grandmaster. In November 2011 FIDE list, he had an ELA rating of 2762, making him the 9th highest rated player in the world, although he has been ranked as high as 2nd. Morozevich is one of the best chess players for the last decade. He's famous for employing unusual chess openings, including the Chigorin defense and the Albin counter gambit. Both openings are hardly seen at the top level. He's well known for preferring complicated rather than clear positions. He has a risky and spectacular style which produces relatively few draws. He's popular among chess fans, including myself. He's probably my favorite chess player. I've seen him play all the way in Yerevan, Armenia, and I'm from the USA. I showed up there, watched GM Morozevich play in a live tournament, and it was awesome. Let's see, what else can I tell you about him? He has won the Russian Championship twice and took first play in the Bill tournament 3 times. Alright, so we're bringing you the action. He is white in this position, and we can see that this position is totally unusual already, and I don't totally know what's going on. He's 25-25 rated, though, and so you can see that his knights are active. He has control of the center, control of some unusual squares like f5 and f6, and that's the game already. He wins with a d5 push, exposing the queen, and the pawn also attacks the knight. Bada bing, bada boom. That's how Morozevich takes it down. Alright, game 2, let's do it. I introduced Morozevich, he won that quickly. It was like 17 moves, GG. And now we see a c4 move from Morozevich, controlling the center from the sides, but I'm pretty sure that he's going to do some quirky things. He loves the knights. We see that the knights are developed already. Some pawns are in the center because you have to put the pawns in the center. His opponent tries to take out one of his knights because Morozevich is dangerous with his knights. I once heard this guy tell me, that he knew a guy who was 2,700 with his knights. And obviously that was a ridiculous proposition. But in this case with Morozevich, it's kind of true. Morozevich is 2,900 rated with his knights. That's what I like to say. Here his knight jumps to d5, attacking the knight on f6 and the bishop on b4, basically forcing a trade. So now the other knight jumps to d4. Morozevich has a 500-point rating advantage. He keeps the bishop. Now he controls the bishop pair, and looks to be playing maybe an f4 push. That's why he played the king h1. The bishop is attacked once. g3 defends, attacks the queen, and maybe prepares an f4 push. Also prepares a light square bishop fianchetto. The rook goes back to c1. Attacking the bishop. Now we see the f4 move, taking a lot of central space. f6, an anti-positional move in order to overprotect the e5 square. Bishop to e6 controls a lot of light squares. And the king could be vulnerable, stuck on h8. It could be victim to some sort of sacrifices. The queen stays central with the f3 move. And we'll see what sort of idea Morozevich comes up with. Both players have 2 minutes left on their clocks. Plenty of time to finish the game. So it looks to be that Black is trying to push on the queen side, get some action over there. And it's a question of if White has some sort of substantial advantage in the center and the king side that he can convert. Morozevich is thinking. And we, as the audience, can be confident that Morozevich is going to think of something that's pretty clever. The bishop that's on e6, because it's an opposite colored bishop ending or middle game. The bishop is good for attacking the other player's king. Here we see a queen h3 move. trying to take advantage of the weakness on the h-file. The king being on the h-file, some sort of tactics involving that. So we see a g6 move, sort of overprotecting the h7 square. Rook f3. So I think Morozevich is thinking about some tricky sort of ideas regarding that h-file. Takes, sort of creating some permanent structural changes. The pawn takes back on b3. It looks like black could be better here. Black has an active rook on a2 that's sort of controlling a lot of squares in white's camp. Rook f1 is played, putting a lot of pressure on f6, but f6 is overprotected by the dark square bishop. g5, making that big breakthrough on the dark squares, because he already has a lot of control of the light squares, and now he needs to break through with the dark squares. G takes f6 is played, attacking the queen, sort of a move with tempo. e5, another dark squared break. If the bishop takes, then the rook goes to f7, and mating on h7, right? Takes, he comes back. Now the queen has a move. The dark squared queen will have a move, and now the white queen isn't threatening mate on h7 because it's back down on f1. 51 seconds against 1 minute and 14 seconds. So rook f8 check has to be considered in this position. He plays it. The king decides to run to h6. Note that queen takes h2 checkmate is threatened, which is really significant. But g5, and maybe an excellent move by Big Fafachiko to prevent future checks. And now there's a mate threatened on h2. Morozevich is down on time. I think Morozevich might lose this one. Rook a1 is played. That could be an excellent move, forcing some sort of a checkmate sequence. Morozevich decides to take it, and then his queen gets taken by the bishop. So queen to e1 check. Then his opponent is way up in position, and Morozevich is down on time. I don't see how Morozevich could come back from this sort of a deficit. He does try to overprotect key squares, hoping that he can win on time, but it just doesn't look like it. He's down 30 seconds. The king could even come to f5. He's going for that e6 square, trying to make some sort of a comeback, but it seems unlikely. Takes on h3. Seems like a lot of trouble. Morozevich is way down, 33 seconds against 11 seconds. How can he come back from this? The queen is way too powerful. It moves in all the directions. It does diagonals, it does straight lines, it does columns, it does files. That's the power of the queen. Morozevich is pushing the d6 pawn, which is hoping to promote into a queen, which could be possible, but he only has 7 seconds left. His opponent only has 15 seconds left. He's coming back. The bishop attacks it. Morozevich is thinking too long. Morozevich, 4 seconds left. He checks. He runs back. He's 3 seconds against 11. He's got an insta move here. 2 seconds against 8 seconds. I don't know if he can come back. He checks. That's just giving away a queen. Morozevich is running out of time in this position. Second queen comes. This is over. Oh, 4 seconds left. Morozevich can't take it down. Oh, my favorite player, the hero Morozevich, can't win every game. But we will continue. We will see a third game in this set. And as we can see, I cut some time because White was like eating, a grilled cheese sandwich or something, and he was just AFK for like over a minute, and so he's way down on time. And Igor Morozevich is in the advantage. So we see a Benoni type position. E6 was played. Now the bishop attacks the knight on f3, and seems solid. I mean, the most important thing about this position is that Morozevich has twice as much time. The queen goes back to b1, which can't be that good of a sign. The bishop on g4 is attacked. Morozevich takes it! Boom! Bada bing, bada boom. And so he couldn't take because... it must be something involving the f3 square. I don't know. I'm sure it's obvious. But if he takes, then the f3 square is really weak, and then the queen swings out to h4. I don't know. I wish I knew. But f6 was played, kicking the bishop. We can see that Morozevich is up a pawn. Check, knight f3 check, bad ass. If it takes, then the other knight takes, and then he takes the bishop on h4, so that's a pretty sweet tactic. Go for tactics. And that's the game. His opponent has resigned, and so we saw Morozevich win in like under 20 moves in 2 games, which is pretty impressive, and then he barely lost another game. So, good set from Morozevich. I'm glad that I was able to catch him on ICC. These games were played on January 28th, 2012. Hope you appreciated it. This is Galen from the Portland Chess Shop. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Goodbye.